I'm going to fix this paw because it's still not right. And as I see now, as this dried, this is darker than this. That's no bueno. That's no good. So let's, the fact that this is a floor, wooden floor, which is good because we can put different tints and such. Doesn't have to be perfect. Honestly, look better if it's not perfect. There was that book. It's actually written, this book, it's a golf book. It's the most famous golf book. Golf is not a game of perfect. I forget the guy who wrote it. But, you know, painting's not a game of perfect either. But the interesting part about that book is there's some Frankfurt folk in that book. Rob McNamara is the guy we went to high school with. He's in the book. And, Gene Highland used to be the golf pro, has passed away, but Gene was in that book, which is really cool. It's not why I brought it up, but, you know, again, painting is not about being perfect, or not for me anyway. It's about telling your story how you tell it. Telling the story, trying to capture Bella in a really interesting way. My way and your way. And if you do it your way, it's going to be more interesting than trying to mimic someone else. Just kind of comes along, you know, when I describe how I paint, to me it's all out of focus and it kind of all comes in focus at the same time. I'm putting off this back here because I'll get to it eventually, but it is important because I put it there, but it's definitely not the most important thing. I really have got Bella's eye done wrong. Going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It's wrong. And if you know it's wrong, you have to fix it. And that's the one thing, if there's something along the way that I've gotten much better at, I have no hesitation, no reservation at all about repainting something. And I used to would have something that I spent a ton of time on and it looks really good. I did a good job, but it's in the wrong place. And I would notice it is, and I wouldn't fix it because I didn't want to repaint it again. Now I don't care. What I care about is it being right. So this is kind of important, the way this eye drips down like that. Now, you see that? You see that? There's a little... maybe even more, maybe just slightly more. Yeah, a little eye droopy going on there. Put the paint down, let it dry, and then fix around it. That's what we do, right? That's what we do. Make sure I'm just checking myself. Lots to do. Gold, or well, warmer, richer. I would say yellower, oranger, lighter, a little tinged more toward yellow, a little bit lighter. I want to make sure I get that. So there's a tiny touch of a yellowish orange that I'm seeing in the old bales there. You know, we might even call it golden. I'm going to put it down probably too yellow just to see how it reads. Nah, lighter. Colder is probably what I meant to say. Colder. Colder. Maybe too much. Maybe too much. Sometimes I get it all wrong. Right? I mean, I like miss it bad. The color I'm seeing really is right. Look right behind. Maybe it's just my eyes and this monitor. Right there, it's different than right there. Those little subtle things are important. I'm going to paint it up that way. You see what I'm saying. I know you do. I know you do. So subtle. This is. I knew this was going to be tough. This is hard painting. This is really, because I really want to get this right. It's better. It's better. I mean, maybe I may have pushed it a little too much, but it's better. I think it's better, which is what matters. It matters that I think it's better. It goes up a little bit more. Soften it with the old pingas. I can live with that. I kind of like that. A little bit warmer. I have this too cool, and that's something that I do. But I know normally me. I know me, and I have to go back and fix stuff. And when I put those down, I kind of knew I was pushing it a little bit. Let's do this again. I'm not finished painting any of Bella. I'm going to be probably putting paint over all of it. That's just what I have to do. That's just the way I do it. And there's a different way to do it, which is called alla prima. And you could do it, I guess, if you were good enough with acrylic. There are some oil artists that do it, which is all at once. I put the stroke down, I know it's right, I know it's going to dry white, I never touch it again. I'm just not that good. So this is something we're going to do right now that's going to start making me feel better, and you probably too. And I have to assess how dark is this. I think I probably got it pretty close. We're going to test it up here. So that is more important that I put it down in one long swift stroke than if I had tried to get it straight. Even if that dips down, doesn't matter. I mean, I can bow that a little bit more. Probably easier to do it this way. Well, I'm so sorry. But it's more important that is done one long thing than me to go and try to get it This is an opportunity for me to fix things if I know they're wrong. Now I'm going to remix that. A little more paint. I want it a little thicker, a little darker, a little darker. And I'm sorry you can't see what I'm doing. The reason that this board back here looks like it does is because I test on it. I do it above the painting. I don't think you guys can see that. I'm sorry about that. Pop, pop goes the bell. So this is a little thinner, a little softer. See how it's, this is sharper. That's just the hint of that going on back there. And I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna bring her belly down a little bit more, it looks like. You know, I'm dying to put a shadow under there because it makes sense that there would be one. But I don't see it. I don't see it. So I'm not going to put it down. And I'm trying to follow that shape over there. I think I've got this pretty well right. There, just the tip of that brush. We're going to go down here. And we're going to put a little notch right there. Now this is maybe too dark competing because that doesn't make sense, right? So I need to warm that up so it doesn't look like it's a shed on the other side. Now while I've got this dark color though, and this is pretty damn dark, maybe too dark, I'm going to put it down. I'm going to warm it up. So I'm going to take that same color, so it's really dark, and I'm going to make it a dark warm. I want to touch this minimally. Now you see that I'm a guy who takes my finger and softens and stuff, which is fun. I've actually needed lighter color, but I'm going to try to do that. Put this here. That makes me more happier. So there's a spot here. Right? This goes like that. This actually connects. Right? Now I hope you can see. I can definitely see if you're not able to that's warmer. That's dark, but it's a very warm dark, which makes more sense. Maybe too dark, and I think it is. Let me put a little line of it there. It's right kind of there. Now I don't have much paint in the brush, so I'll scumble a little. There's a little spot of her other ear right there. See that? I'm going to put right here where her other eye would come over. See that? It's starting to look like the bells. There's a couple other spots. One right there above her eye that comes toward us. And I may have, you almost have to step back a bunch. I may have too dark. Step back. This is pretty dead burn dark. And I'll reshape that. We'll just pick up, but it's warm, very warm. Again, I touched above the canvas. It's, maybe too warm. A few spots of this are going to have to happen. There's going to just be a few spots that I'm going to, I'd say push the temperature, but pushing meaning a little bit more than what I see, because this is a dog that's got some warm areas in it, and you don't want to put them everywhere, but it's got to have a little bit, around here maybe. And now I'm dry brushing, right? There's not much paint in my brush. Which you know, most artists would pick that paint back up, and no, you don't want to do that. You want to use it. It's a good opportunity to touch, and I'm studying this over here. I'm just studying this. There's some places that it's warm, and I hope you are, I'm brainwashing you a little bit to see the difference when I say temperature, how important, or at least how I go about bringing that dog out, where it looks like now, and I've never painted Bella before. I've painted animals before, but that doesn't matter. It's painting. Painting's painting. You learn how to paint. You can paint anything, and that's when I started out. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to just do the easy stuff, easier stuff. I didn't want to just do landscapes, or, there's so many artists. I love their work. They're so good, but they just do nothing but landscapes. And every painting looks exactly the same. It's just a different landscape. That is so disappointing to me, because I look at that person and go, God, I wish I could see them paint a person, or something else. And I just love their art so much, and they don't do those things. That's fine. That's who they are as an artist, and who am I to judge? It's just, as a fan, it's, I just want to see more of their stuff. You can only look at so many faces that somebody paints. I've just always challenged myself to paint anything, and I got a book. I've taught, a reasonable bit in the past, and so I get confused on whether I say, have I told you guys these things or not. So if I've already told you this, just fast forward. There's Helen Van White, fantastic artist. She's mainly was popular back, I'd say, in the 70s and 80s. And she wrote several books. I've got a couple of them. And this is important. The little spot right there. You see that? You see that little spot? Oh, yes. This kind of comes down and touches. Little spot there. Brindle, 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 brindle. You're seeing it now. Look, touch. Oh, yeah. This book I have it's basically, I'll say how to paint anything, which any artist would go, hey, I gotta have that. And it didn't take long before I'm kind of like, no, that's not right. And there's a chapter on how to paint glass, and then there's one on how to paint water and how to paint trees, and I'm like that. I think you're just taking people down the wrong road. I think you got to teach people to paint, and if I teach you to paint, you can paint anything, and not worry about. I've never painted a rhinoceros. Well, who the hell cares? I mean, do you think I can paint a rhinoceros? Well, sure I can, because I've painted enough stuff that it's just shapes, and there's different sheens on things. I get that, and you have to, know how to deal with those things. But painting, you just need to learn how to paint, and you just got to paint, and period. Brilliant. That's brilliant, isn't it? It's true though. Randall. And I'll probably have to repaint over all this stuff, but I get going. I see something that's kind of working, and I push it, and I push it, and I push it. And then I come back and go, oh, I screwed that up. And then I have to repaint it. Around her eye, it's just a little dark. I don't like it. I've known it's a little dark. I'm struggling to find the right temperature. Always temperature, never color. But it's, I also had to figure out when I go over that, there's that dark there. So, I mean, I have two options. One is to pick up a thick load of paint and lay it over, and doesn't matter that that's black or that's white, that paint's going to go over so thick it's going to be its own thing, if that makes sense. But because that's dark and these are acrylics, I can take another color and just drag, and it's transparent, and it will show some of that through. So this first attempt, that's what I'm going to try to do, is lighten it a little bit. Lighten that a little bit. See if that works. Let it dry. Always having to go back and go, restate. So I'm going to take, because I've gone back and forth to this white, very important shape. I think that's, I have to repaint into that, because I use too big a brush, because I do that all the time. I do it all the time. No. That's wrong. Now I've got to be careful, because I didn't paint this background that long ago, did I? Got lucky. I'm going to leave that there. I'm pushing my luck. Yeah, I got a little dangerous right there. White. Thick white. I mean, you take a palette knife if you want. Now, this is one of those I probably won't do. You need a palette knife, because that's not going to give me the edge, the, what's the word I'm looking for? The stroke. That would be in Bella, right? I mean, it's fur. It's not like me painting a tin roof or something. I don't want it to look like that. So I probably should put a little more effort, as I'm looking at this, into some of her spots and things, because I got them off. Now is Amber going to look at this, or one of the kids look at this and go, oh, Bella's shaped different right now? I don't know. You know, and then again, what am I doing it for? Is it for me? Maybe Bella will care. Maybe she'll look. Go, damn you. Got my stuff wrong. Yeah, this stuff here is going to be just non-stop loading paint on, loading paint on. And I think you see, if you look over there to the picture, what I'm having to try to accomplish. That's thick stuff. And as I put it down right now, it's kind of like, okay, I got it. But we'll look back over here, and it's going dry dull again. You just got to keep hitting it, keep hitting it. I've got that pencil lead. God, it's going to bother me. It's going to bother me. That shaped better. That shaped better. Because if y'all remember, I put some thick white on here, right? Now, I think I probably painted over it with that background. I don't remember. But it's gone now. What time are we looking at? Okay, I'm good. Since I already blew 13 minutes. Yeah, that sucked. I did some genius stuff in that third. Just and again, I can't overstate when you paint. You're looking at this, right? I'm looking at this, and I'm just focused on that, and I know my left brain. Right? My left brain knows that it's a dog. It knows it's Bella. But while I'm painting, I don't do that at all. I just, it's a shape, it's a color, it's a value, and I'm just trying to duplicate that shape over there that I'm seeing. That's it. And if I do that well, it's going to look like a dog. It's going to look like Bella, not just a dog. And it's funny because I've done paintings before. I remember the first one, it was of Matthew, where I really was, I guess I was starting to get it. And I was good enough that I could just surrender myself to the picture and not really stop and think, how do I mix that color? Because, you know, what I'm doing in the palette that y'all can't see is subconscious. I normally would never sit here and talk about values and all this. I just do it, bang, bang, bang. And just do it long enough, you don't think. And that's when you're good. You get really good when you don't think. In the first painting I did, and I remember it, I was painting Matthew, and it was like I was just focused so much on little shapes, little shapes, little shapes, and I stepped back and I went, oh my gosh, it's Matthew. It's Matthew. How did that happen? And it was because I didn't think of it as Matthew. I was just trying to hit those shapes. Struggle a little bit with that. No, he did it there a little bit. And I'm going to leave it. It's pretty sharp there. It's kind of sharp over there too. I'm going to leave that for now. You know, you put this down. There's some places that you have to realize there's some places that are a little sharper, but at the end of the day, it's a dog, and she's made of fur. And I'm going to show you something right here, right now, that, you know, you would never notice looking back at my painting, you never notice this, but I'm gonna do this here and there. And after a little while, it makes a difference. And assuming I get this value right, look right there and look right there. See how that's just a hard edge? Too much paint. There's a softness. This is a cooler color. A little bit cooler color.